What up, Laker Nation? It's your boy DTLF back on the post-game recap, the final one of the regular season, man. Just wanted to give you guys a quick shout out, man. Thank you guys for being here with me all season long, man. You guys have been phenomenal with the support, the love, likes, and everything. Lakers get the win. Thank God. They finally pulled away in the end, but man, it was scary. LeBron turned his ankle, and I was really upset with Coach for still having these guys even out in the second half, especially considering the fact that the Denver Nuggets clearly tanked, and I lost a lot of respect for them tonight. But the Lakers finished 110-98. LeBron looked great. I think, we're coming along nicely. You were right, brother. I give you credit. This man said the Nuggets were going to tank. I didn't believe him until I wanted to see it. I didn't think they were capable of it, but they did, man. The whole West tanked. And guess what? Guess who else tanked tonight? The Clippers tanked. They lost again tonight versus another scrub team, man. And this way they avoid us in the second round if they get lucky enough to make it to the second round. Hopefully they won't. And it's just hilarious. They trying to avoid us all the way to the Western Conference Finals, which everybody knows they won't have the pleasure of being there. But it looks like LeBron is going to be okay. I'm not sure exactly what the update is on there. I'll let you guys know as soon as I know. Bottom line is the West is tanking. And I'm glad you guys are joining me for the final season recap and the grades for every single player and even for the coach. And the coach will get a lesser grade after this decision he made tonight. Two decisions I didn't like again tonight. One, not to play Trez, and two, to leave LeBron and James out there for way too long, and Anthony Davis even in the second half when it was clear we were going to be in the play-in. So, I got to give credit to Bro who called it here pregame. He said the Nuggets were going to tank. I am very disappointed. I didn't think they were built like that, but the players didn't even come out to play, which means they were instructed by their coach to tank because they didn't want to face the Lakers in the first round. Or maybe they think we're going to get eliminated in the play-in. I don't know what the end game is. Bottom line is it's us against the world, baby, and I'm excited. We get to face the Warriors. That's going to be a classic matchup. I hope it's a good game, and I hope we beat them. I really think we will. And here's why it's convenient for us to beat. This is why it's convenient for us to beat the Warriors in the play-in first game. All right, here's why. I'm going to show you guys the standings on the screen share thing, and then I'm going to explain to you why this might be a blessing in disguise and why I think other teams shot themselves in the foot. Oh, wrong screen. My bad, wrong screen. Let me show you guys the right screen. Give me 1 second. Let me set it up. But bottom line is, look, no matter who we have to go through, the Lakers will be all right. It's the other teams that are worried about us. We're not worried about them. But here are the standings right here, guys, for the play-in and everything. So as you can see, the Lakers are officially at number 7 with the Golden State Warriors at number 8. Okay, winner of this game will go on to the 7th seed to face the Phoenix Suns. And after defeating the Phoenix Suns, which we will, we would face either Denver or Portland, which is not as hard as going through Utah personally. So I think the Clippers, the joke's on you because this is a harder path in the second round, which you won't get out of again. Go Utah. Utah will eliminate the Clippers in the second round. I'm glad they have that matchup because the prophecy will be fulfilled if they get lucky enough to get out of the first one. So very excited about that. Again, might have just shot themselves in the foot. Regardless, it was gonna be destiny for them to exit in the second round. But again, we don't even have to do the dirty work. Somebody else will do it for us. Here's the beautiful thing about all this, guys. Karma is real. Anybody who's cheating the game and mailing in these games is going to lose. Sooner or later, they're going to be out. And we're not worried about them. Okay, we're not. Now, I won't preview the matchup between the Warriors and the Lakers till the pregame of that game, and I can't wait to break it down for you guys. That's going to be the most important game of the season because whoever wins that game has a very I won't say easy route because it's the playoffs. They're all going to be hard, but has the easier route to the Western Conference Finals. Again, looking at the chart here, you got, if the Lakers win, you got Phoenix followed by Denver or Portland. None of those teams are scary to me. Are they scary to you? Because they sure as heck aren't to me. And I feel like the Lakers can really benefit from this as long as we take care of business on Wednesday and we defeat the Golden State Warriors. Again, another season comes to a close. I definitely want to show you guys love and thank you guys for everything this year, man. This is my last regular season post game of the year, but we're going to get into the playoffs and all of that. You're right, bro. I'll give you props. When I'm wrong, I'm wrong. You said they would tank. You called it. Major props. I didn't think Denver was capable of that, especially since they were playing their starters, but I did mention if they benched their starters in the second half, it's clear as day. It was clear as soon as the tip-off, man. They were out there like possums. They were just playing possum. But again, that can bode really bad for them. They might end up exiting in the first round because Portland now has confidence, and we'll see what happens. But I don't care about that. I want to talk about the Lakers, man. I want to talk about the Lakers before. Let me get to this comment. My boy Jameson said, nice win by the Lakers, and everybody's scared of us. They don't want none of this Lakers smoke. I told you guys, everybody wants to play tough in the regular season, but come playoffs, what? What's going to happen come playoffs? Let's just hope LeBron is fine. I'm waiting for updates, man, on LeBron. I'm not going to pronounce him injured or nothing. He was trying to walk on it and everything. So let's just hope that after the interview, we hear it. We hear to see if LeBron's okay. He was smiling. That's the encouraging sign of it. He was smiling on the sideline and all that good stuff. But Frank Vogel, if LeBron is hurt, I'm firing him on the spot. Because he shouldn't have been playing him in the second half, let alone in the fourth quarter. But here we go. The Lakers end up number one in the defensive efficiency rating. So that's the good news. He said, Dan, thank you for all you do. You make the season 50% more enjoyable for me. Thanks, Kim. I appreciate that. And you know what? I'm glad you tuned in because this is going to be the grading video, and I want you guys to help me out with the grades we're going to give on these players. Anyways, Lakers, Rocks, let me type that in really quick, and we're going to go player by player. We're going to grade them based on the season and how they performed in our opinion, right? So let's see what kind of grades we can give these players. Let's start off with the head coach, okay? We're going to start off with the head coach because the head coach really pissed me off today, and I didn't like what we saw. Frank Vogel, okay? Now let's just recap the year with Frank Vogel. Frank Vogel had some very suspicious rotations all season long, and I think for those reasons, I'm not too happy with him, especially in the season finale. Could have got LeBron seriously injured. We still don't know. We still don't know what the outcome is of his ankle injury or what, or the apparent ankle injury. So for those reasons, I see you guys giving him a C. I'm gonna do you one better. I'm gonna give him a D plus because he could have done so much more with this lineup. I'm giving him a D plus. That is the final grade for the season on Frankie. Yes, I'm being hard on him because he is a championship coach, and a championship coach is supposed to have championship rotations. So supposed to be consistent. We still don't know what the rotations are going into the playoffs. He gets a D plus, and that's me being generous. I could have given him an F, but the only reason I give him a D plus and not a D minus or a D is because he did allow Taylor Horton Tucker to grow and get better, and he might become an X factor for us in the playoffs or even years moving down the road. It could be very beneficial. So for me, what do you guys think of my grade? Frank Vogel gets a D plus. That's me being generous. Again, the rotation is questionable. He allowed LeBron to almost get injured here in the season finale. I would have gave him a C minus had he not done what he did tonight. But yeah, D plus is all he gets. No, he doesn't get a C minus. C minus. I would have gave him a C minus had he not. Bro, he could have costed us the season by allowing LeBron to stay in the fourth quarter. Do you guys not know the gravity of that? So I'm sticking with my grade is a D plus, and I'm gonna be hard on Frank. Again, he's a championship coach. I gotta hold him to the championship standard. Now let's move on to the least relevant players on the roster. Let's start with Kostas Antetokounmpo. Okay, Antetokounmpo is 23 years old. He's 6'10". He's explosive, but other than that, he doesn't have much going for him. And he really didn't grow much this season. He really didn't make any sort of impact. He was sloppy out there with the ball. And at this point, I think it's – and again, this is me. I'm not trying to be harsh, but I'm being real, man. I got to give Kostas Antetokounmpo probably a D minus, man. And that's me, again, being generous because he could have gotten an F easily. He didn't make an impact. He's fun to watch when we're blowing teams out and it's like, okay, he makes a play, cool. But he really doesn't make an impact. D minus for Kostas Antetokounmpo. Moving on, we got Devontae Cacok, 24 years old, 6'7", 240 pounds out of North Carolina. Cacok, he gave us one good game this year. I don't know if you guys remember when everybody was injured. He played, I think we started in one game, and he was solid. He actually exceeded my expectations. So for those reasons, I'm going to give him a C minus, okay? C minus for Devontae Cacok because he's still not the ideal big. He's undersized for a center. He's undersized for a power forward. He is athletic, so that gives him a little bit. He makes up a little bit of ground for that. But, and he's strong and he finishes around the basket. Still doesn't have a jump shot. And his defense, again, questionable. Depends on who he's guarding. C minus for me, Devontae Cacok. I'm not sure if I'm keeping him on the roster next year either because, again, he is 24 years of age. And I don't see too much growth. And we've had him for about 2 years now. Moving on, we got Bubble Boy coming in at 28 years of age. KCP, 6'5" guard out of Georgia. Man, let me tell you something about KCP. Okay, KCP is a streak player in the regular season. And I'm only grading him here. I'm only grading him off of the regular season. I'm not grading him on the playoffs. We know he could turn up in the playoffs. But KCP, because he's streaky, he was good sometimes. He was more bad than good most times. And for those reasons, I'll give him a C+. Okay? Because Kentavious Caldwell-Pope can get hot, but he's just a wild card. You never know. When he gets hot, and I'd say he probably got hot maybe about 10 games out of the whole season. Out of the 72, C+. We needed way more from him, way more from Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. I think he's going to turn up in the playoffs, though. I hope so, because if not, you could very well see his name come up in the trade rumor mill. Okay? We need a more consistent shooting guard, and that's why I think we got Ben McLemore. We got Ben McLemore for insurance, just in case KCP doesn't come to play in the playoffs. You got other shooting guards, Wesley Matthews as well, and all these guys. I will get to grade them in a little bit. He said, KCP gives me headaches in the regular season. Exactly why I can't give him more than a C+, bro. Because when he shows up, he's solid. But a lot of people are saying B. Yeah, I can't raise him that high. He wasn't consistent enough. Like I said, I think maybe he gave us 10 to 12 good games all season long. It's a 72-game season. So, I mean, 60 games, he was pretty mid at best. Mid to bad. So, am I worried about the play-in? No, I'm not. I'm not worried about the play-in. But let me continue with these grades. Thanks for the donation, Ozzy. So, again, C+ for he gets a C+ for me. And again, I'm being very generous. I'm happy we went out on a 5-game win streak. So congratulations to the Lakers on finishing and not trying to cheat the game, finishing the game the right way. And then so that KCP gets a C+. Alex Caruso, man, 6'4", 27. We've seen growth from him. But I'll be honest with you guys about Alex Caruso, man. As much as I love him, he's a great perimeter defender. He's athletic. And the reason I gave KCP a C+, not like a C or a C-, is because he improved in his three-point shooting. I think he finished like a career high 41%. So that definitely deserves a plus right there. Right now, Alex Caruso, in a way, I'm not sure if it was due to injuries or whatnot, but I feel like he regressed a little bit. Don't you guys think? What do you guys think? I'm a little lost on Alex Caruso grade, so I'm gonna need your guys' help, man. I'm gonna need you guys to say, hey, Aaron Aguilar, appreciate you, bro, for the Cash App donation. Thank you. Caruso gets a B-, C+, C+. Whatever the majority grade is in the comment section, that's probably what I'll stick with because it's hard to grade him. Again, he's somebody who shot better this year, but he did struggle as well at times. And he was injured a lot. Due to the injuries, I don't want to penalize him too much. So, C+, B. I don't know. This is a hard grade, okay? This is hard to grade Alex Caruso because, again, it'll be interesting. He's capable of so much more in the postseason. And I do factor in the fact that they went through a lot in the season, a lot of injuries and stuff. So I don't want to be too harsh. I will give him, because he's one of our better perimeter defenders, and when he is healthy, he's pretty solid at playmaking as well. And I like what him and LeBron bring to the table at the same time. So I'm going to give him a C+ as well. Okay, I'm going to give him a C+ as well. I see a lot of C+ on here. I almost went up to B-, but then, Caruso and KCP, what one doesn't give you on one side, the other one does. KCP's a good defender, solid defender. I'd say Caruso's a better defender. I'd say KCP's a better probably catch and shoot guy, while Caruso's a better slasher. So, you know what? Let's go C+. Just to be fair, I don't want to feel like I elevated KCP over Caruso or vice versa. So, to be fair, C+. What do you guys think? That sounds pretty good. He said, Dan, are you going to watch every playoff game or most? I'm going to do the most I can, man. He said, a bit harsh with the grades, DTLF. Hey, brother, I'm going to say this regular season was very underwhelming. I expected a little bit more, even though we were injured. But I did expect certain players. For example, after what KCP gave us last year in the bubble, I expected a lot more from him in the regular season, and I didn't get that. If anything, I got less. Same thing with Caruso. The way he ended over there, the way he ended the regular season, the playoffs, he's even started, I expected a lot more. So I am going to be harder on them, but it's for a good reason. I have high expectations for these players, and I really feel like, they could have did so much more. Unfortunately, injuries did factor, but also sometimes they were a little shaky. He said, hey, Dan, glad we're going into the playoffs on a win streak. Nuggets just guaranteed the Flippers another second-round exit. That's if they beat the Mavs. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying, man. But you know what? The path, if we beat the Warriors, I like our path a lot. A lot if we beat the Warriors. Because like I said, it's not very hard to beat the Suns. All you gotta worry about really is Chris Paul and Dev, and everybody else is basically manageable, right? Even though they got some solid shooters and role players, they're manageable. They might put up a fight, they might, get us to 5 games, but I doubt they go up much more than that. My brother said, update. Frank Vogel said LeBron is good to go. No issues. Vogel got to step up and make it easier on our players. I agree with you, bro. And thanks so much. I really didn't really like the whole coaching situation this year from Frank. That's why I was hard on him. And I gave him a D plus at best. I didn't want to give him an F because that's too harsh for a championship level coach. I do have confidence that he can turn up in the playoffs. And let's see how he uses his rotations. And thanks, Quincy. I appreciate y'all for the update, man, as I'm doing these grades. He said, is Gasol or Harrell the right backup at center versus the Warriors? Ooh, it's probably going to be Montrezl because they don't have a lot of size. But if they do go with size off the bench, like with, I forgot that guy's name. If they use the 7-footer, then we should use Gasol. We got to match up, and that's where coach needs to be better. That's why I only gave him a D+. Well, back to the grading, okay? Left off on Alex Caruso, gave him a C+, just like KCP. Again, both of those players underwhelmed for me. I expected somewhat of a little leap from them coming out of the playoffs and how great they played there. But let's just hope that they, these are just regular season gradings, so we'll just stick to that. Now, moving on to my superstar, number 3, Anthony Davis, a unibrow at 28'6'10", Kentucky product. Look, Anthony Davis is a hard grade as well because he missed about 2/3 of the season, okay? And so I don't want to penalize him for that. But Anthony Davis definitely finished the season strong. I mean, he finished the season averaging over 30 points, with the exception of this game. The last 4 games, he over 30 points. So what do you guys think about Anthony Davis? A B? A B? B, B plus, B, 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 B minus? I'd give him a B. I'd give him a B just because we expected him to have an MVP season, right? And the injuries derailed him. But even when he came back, he was a bit clumsy and sloppy. So for those reasons, I'm going to give him a B. Don't want to be too harsh on him. And again, don't want to penalize him too much. I see some B minuses. But B is solid. B is good. It's not great. It's not amazing. But I think if we're grading based off of what he's going to do in the playoffs, I think that'll raise up to A+. And that's the scary part about the Lakers. So I'm glad we're all on board here with Anthony Davis. A solid B, which is good. B is never great, but it's very good. So we'll stick with a B for AD. And that rhymes as well, by the way. Moving on from Anthony Davis. And again, Anthony Davis is going to step up. I expect that B to go up to A+ come postseason. Now, Andre Drummond, okay? The polarizing Andre Drummond, who people love and people hate sometimes. But personally, me, since acquiring him, I didn't really judge his first couple of games because I wanted him to get his feet wet with the roster, with the team. And Andre Drummond, to me, kind of underwhelmed a little bit. I was disappointed in his flimsiness and the way he would lose the ball. And sometimes he would botch layups and dunks. So that's never good because that reminds us of one Kwame Brown. However, his rebounding continued to be impressive. His rim protection, 50-50. Some games he would show up with a block too. Some games he would get dunked on and posterized. So just his rebound by itself gets him up to a C. Now, what he did in the last couple of games, getting us double-doubles, I'll give him the plus. I'll give him the plus because I really expected him to be like a B+ type player for us. But this season, he was like a C+. And only because he got a lot better once we got LeBron back. And I feel like he's finally starting to find his role. So, again, being generous, he did get dunked on a lot. So we need better rim protection from him. We need him to play better on and off ball. And I'll give him a C+. I'll be generous. Again, don't want to give him less than that because he improved as LeBron came back again. So I'll give him credit for that. What do you guys think? Sound solid? Ozzy said Andre Drummond didn't play for half the season. He can really step up in the playoffs. And that's why I'm being generous. And I'll get him that C+. He was coming off of injuries the first couple of games. I didn't really judge him the first couple of games for the same reason. Because when you get to a new team, new schemes, and then the team wasn't really healthy, they have to adapt to that. Everybody has to adapt. The team has to adapt to a new player, and the player has to adapt to new team defensive schemes and everything. Yeah, C+ is solid. It's not too impressive, but it wasn't also too horrible as some people depicted it, right? Clement said, my nickname is Drummond. Is J. Kell and Hyde? Oh, Jacqueline Hyde. He said, my nickname for Drummond is Jacqueline Hyde. My bad. I read that all wrong. He said, 1 minute he's dominant on the boards, and the next he's missing easy layups. He'll get better. C+. C+ is my final grade for Andre Drummond. He could have been a lot more. I saw what he's done in Detroit. I saw what he's done before, and I know he's capable of so much more. I expect him to raise the C+ in the playoffs to at least a B+. Jared Dudley, injured all year, man, so I refuse to really grade him. But if we're just going to grade him off of what he does for the roster, what he does for us, for the team, and just the chemistry, the glue guy, I'll give him a solid C+ as well. Glue guy, chemistry guy, a lot of people say A+, but I can't give him that just for the lack of skills and skill set. But, if we're grading him just on locker room, he gets an A+, just on locker room. But if we're grading the player, I'll give him a C+ just because I want to be fair. He was injured all year as well. Again, we've been dealing with crazy injuries. So, but you know what? A+ for Jared Dudley, just as a chemistry glue guy off the bench. No basketball skill required in his grading. We're just going to stick with that since he missed the majority of the season. A+ for your boy, JD. Love Jared Dudley. Marc Gasol, 6'11" Spaniard. At the age of 36, man, he was actually able to make an impact for us this season. Unfortunately, for the first half of the year, he wasn't able to make much of an impact as a starting center. But that's no fault of his own, okay? He was just miscast. You ever seen when a good actor is put into a trash movie and then you really don't want to be mad at the actor? It's more about the trash movie, right? Oh, well, that's kind of what happened with Marc Gasol. He was miscast into his role, and so he looked very mid to, slow. He was getting dunked on. The defense was horrible to start the year. And it was a struggle with Mark in the first half. But off the bench, if I would have just graded him as a starter, it probably would have been an F. That's how bad it was to start off the season. But he brought up his play. Especially off the bench. He can be an X factor for us. And he gets everybody involved. You saw the nice pass to LeBron tonight. You see his chemistry. So I think in his role, I'm grading him in his current role as he is right now, as he finished the season. And again, just like I gave the benefit of the doubt to the rest of the players who improved during the end of the season, I'll give him the same. So I'll give him a B-. I actually like what Mark brings to the table, man. And B- for Marc Gasol is actually perfect for me because, like I said, I'm grading him based on where he finished, not where he started. Where he started, he would have been an F. But he brought his play all the way up. He even helped us win some games that we weren't supposed to win. And off the bench, he definitely gets a B- for me because I think that's the perfect role for him. Now you're throwing the actor into a good movie, and he's going to get an award for it, for his good job, even though he's a side cast member. He's not one of the main actors in the movie. So for those reasons, Marc Gasol, with his high basketball IQ, his passing ability to stretch the floor, he rebounded pretty decently off the bench, and he did a great job on defense off the bench. He gets that B- for me. That's how I feel about Mark, man. That's how important I think he is to the roster moving forward. The next one, man, he was a fan favorite for about 75% of the season until, again, he was miscasted in his role, and that's Montrezl Harrell, man. My boy is 6'7". They kept trying to put him at center. As good as he is in the paint, defensively, he's a huge liability at center. However, at power forward, if Frank was able to use him properly, he would have been great for us, man, all season long. And I think for the first half of the season, we were able to mask that, especially because Anthony Davis was healthy, and they were able to play a lot together off the bench. But again, miscasted, and for that reason, I'm going to give him the same as Mark, a B-. I think it's fair. He was a fan favorite. He could have easily been an A+ with his effort and how hard he played all season long. You know what? Maybe I'll give him just a B. I'll give him a B, actually. Forget the minus. I'm going to give him a solid B because he was, again, miscasted to no fault of his own. But the first, 75% of the season, he was the heart and soul of this team. He brought it every single night, and I cannot be mad at him for being miscasted. That's not his fault. Even tonight, he didn't play. Why did coach not play him? That's not his fault. So Montrezl Harrell, to me, gets a B, a little bit better than Mark because he's more aggressive, he's more explosive, and he plays hard all the time. And, he crashes. He just plays hard, man. I love what Montrezl brings. And if you learn how to use him properly, he can be a Trez factor for us. right? So I hope that he opts back into his contract, and I hope that we bring him back because I really like what he brought to the team this season, just with his heart. Players like that play that hard, there's very few in the league. Very few. Obviously, you got LeBron, you got AD, you got Russell Westbrook, you got Montrez, there's a couple that play really hard almost every possession. But yeah, Harrell gets a B for me, man, because he a lot of times when we were lacking energy, he was the one guy that was bringing it. So I really love the kid, and let's see what he does in the playoffs if they use him properly. Again, I'd love to see Mark and him coming off the bench together. One at the center, one at the power forward. Talen Horton-Tucker, THT. He's in one of my verses in my new mixtape that's about to release soon. He is in there. So that's how highly I think of this kid, okay? Talen Horton-Tucker has a world of potential. They have him at shooting guard, but he really showed some point guard skill sets as a combo guard for the Lakers in the future, maybe, if Dennis walks. I really like this kid. He's only 20 years old, man, out of Iowa State. We got to steal. And his contract is like $1.5 million. Now, I'm going to need Laker Nation's help for this one, man, because I really don't want to overrate him, but I definitely don't want to underrate him. Where would you guys put Talen Horton-Tucker? We also have to factor in the fact that his jumper was inconsistent and he turned the ball over at crucial times sometimes. But that gets negated by the fact that he was always aggressive and fearless, and he also hit some super clutch shots for us this season when needed him the most. So for those reasons, I'm giving him a B+. That's the highest grade I've given so far, so that's high praise. That is high praise for the young buck, okay? B+ for Talen Horton-Tucker. He's legit, man. And I know I don't like to just throw out random, grades like that, but I think what he has done in his growth has been so phenomenal, man, from the limited minutes he played last year to now, and he actually became a key rotation piece. And again, fearlessness, hitting clutch shots, attacking the rim at all times, playmaking. He even stepped up and became our only point guard when Caruso and Dennis were out. For those reasons, he gets elevated a little bit above the rest. And the grade doesn't mean that he's a better player than the rest I just mentioned. It just means for the expectations that we had for that player, that's the grade where I slide him in. And again, the expectations for him, for me, were mid, right? Because he's not a star player. He wasn't even a key role player before the season started. But, everything, he's solid on defense. He has a good wingspan. He's athletic, versatile, can play multiple positions and can guard multiple positions. Talen Horton-Tucker gets the highest grade of the night so far for me, and that's the B+, man. So congratulations, THC, on an impressive, second-year campaign. It was a good one, man, I'll tell you. Now we got King James. King James, LeBron, the king, the chosen one, the one that came back and restored order in L.A., the new darling of Los Angeles. Oh, before I move on, my boy asked me a good question. Is he a future all-star? That depends on how well we groom him and what kind of role he takes moving forward, and also what kind of decisions are made in the offseason. But I do think he has all-star potential. King James, man, what can I say about the guy? He was phenomenal. He was having an MVP season before he got injured. And for those reasons, I got to give him an A+. What else can you say? LeBron James at his age, 36, I see some A- and some A's. Make no mistake, LeBron James didn't really do anything bad this season. He led us. He was clutch. He was hitting big-time game shots, clutch ones, playmaking, looking like the MVP before his injury. I can't penalize him for being injured, and for those reasons, he gets an A+. Easy. That's the easiest grade of the night. I don't even have to second-guess myself. I didn't even need to ask you guys' opinion, even though I love it. But for this, you got to be real. LeBron James at 36, making history, breaking records, and putting his team at one point at number 1 in this tough West. Nothing but the best, man. A+ for LeBron James. If I can get him a better grade, he would get that, because we're a total different team when he's healthy. He is the engine to our Ferrari, man. You take the engine out, car stuck. But LeBron James comes back, he restores order, and this is part of the reason I'm super hyped for the playoffs. I know he's going to come in like a king, and he's going to be looking for, as he mentioned, the respect for Laker Nation, for the front office, for the players, and for himself. And I can't wait. I can't wait, for him to really step up, man. He said, come on, a solid B or B+? Nah. There was nothing you can level him down to, man. Nothing. He didn't do nothing wrong this season. What can you point at and say, oh, he could have did this better or that better? I mean, my man even switched out the other night. Who were we playing that was giving us buckets, and he switched out to try to guard him. That's how good he is, man. He could play 1 through 5, and dude has been huge, man. Yeah, I don't know who would give LeBron James anything less than an A+, to be honest with you. He said, yo, you guys excited for the 7 versus the Warriors? The 7? We're not going to play 7. Oh, you mean it's like a game 7, so I see what you mean. But not necessarily, because loser of that game goes on to play another one anyways. But yes, I am excited for that game, bro. I can't wait. The sub DTLF, it was a good win. I say bring in the play-in tournament. We all want the smoke, Dan, when we are in our second ship, which I know we will. I want to donate 1K to your channel to show my appreciation. Oh, man. Bruh, if you do that, I'm going to get a heart attack on on the live YouTube channel, man. You don't got to do that, but if you do it, man, I would appreciate it. God bless you, brother. I hope you get blessed times a million. But I'll say this. I do believe the Lakers have what it takes to win another championship. They have to execute. Coaching staff's going to have to be on point, and it's going to have to be like just perfection, which I think we can acquire because superstars demand greatness. And so here we go. Let's continue with the grades because people are already asking about other grades. So last one I graded, A+ for LeBron James. Now we got my boy Kyle Kesey, man. We got Kuzma. Okay, and now Kuzma's going to, no matter what grade I put on Kuzma, some are going to agree, some are going to disagree. Okay, now Kyle Kuzma got better this season, no matter who believes me or not. He got better at passing. His defense was solid. His scoring, when we needed him, he had clutch buckets, helped us win games as well. Okay, and yeah, he did have his bad games, but most of those came after injury. People forget he was injured and he was out. And I already see some Fs. That is hilarious, man. You can see the hate for Kuz. But there's no way that I can give Kyle Kuzma a better grade than your boy Anthony Davis. And if you guys remember, I gave Anthony Davis a B just because we expected a lot from him. I also expected a lot from Kyle Kuzma. And for those reasons, I got to give him a B as well. Not because he's the same player as Anthony Davis or nothing like that. Don't get it twisted. But I'm talking about for the expectations for him as a role player, as a primary scorer, coming off the bench, B is where he's got to stay at. He can't get a better grade than AD anyways. But I think it's a beautiful thing because Kyle Kuzma to me is a polarizing player to a lot. To me, I love him. I think the kid sacrifices a lot for the team. And I think, like I said, he's clutch when we need him to be. And, he's not a perfect player by no means, but I do see the improvement. Playmaking got a lot better. He still needs to work on his ball handling because sometimes he does some knuckleheaded play turnovers when he tries to do too much with the ball. But overall, solid B. My boy said, Kuz off the backboard tribute to Kobe. Dang, that was beautiful, wasn't it? Kyle Kuzma off the backboard, and nobody showed him love, man. Y'all got to show him some love. This kid has some nice skill set, man. That was a nice play. I'd love to see him do that versus better competition, but just the fact that he went in his bag and he showed me that, it was phenomenal to see. So Kuzma gets a B for me. Moving forward, we got Wesley Matthews. Wesley Matthews, man, he proved that he, the 6'4" guard at 34 years of age, he proved he still got a stroker on him. Now, he got off to a rocky start this season. Okay? He got off to a really rocky start. And a lot of people wanted him traded, including at one point myself. I said, you know what? If we can get something better for him in a package, cool. However, when we didn't trade him, I did say, you know what? I'm okay with us holding on to him because I think in the playoffs is where he's really, or when the games really matters, when he's really going to show out and show that veteran leadership. And you know what? He did. He definitely did. Okay? But he wasn't consistent this year as well. Right? But he ended the season similar to Marc Gasol in a way better note than the way he started. He started off like trash. Okay? Marc Gasol got a B- from me. Okay? But I can't give Wesley Matthews a better grade than I did KCP and Caruso. For those reasons, I'm giving Wesley Matthews a solid C. Now, I could bring that up to a plus just because he ended the season on a high note, knocking down clutch shots, playing excellent defense. So for those reasons, I think I will do that. I'll bring him up to a C+, and he's on par with Caruso and KCP, who are also inconsistent. But I think they're all ending the season on the highest of notes that they can. So I'll give him a C+. I'll be generous. Again, not on the same level, but we're grading players based on the expectations we had for them, not based on skill set, right? So C+ based on the expectation I had for Wesley. All I really wanted for Wesley to come in is knock down threes, spot up, knock down threes, and play solid defense. He didn't do that in the beginning, but he did that in the end when it mattered the most. For those reasons, I give him a C+. He said, Nuggets tanked, LOL, scary asses. Everybody's scared of the Lakers, bro. Everybody's scared of the Lakers, and it is disappointing to see because we come from an era where we love competition and we ain't never scared. But It looks like this modern NBA has gone really soft to the point where even players are being asked to not play hard. And that was very evident from the beginning of that Nuggets game. They were already losing by 20 in the first quarter, which is unheard of from a top Western team. But hey, if that's what it's bad karma, man. You tank games now, games are gonna tank you later. You know what I'm saying? That's the way it is. You know? What do you say? I'm a realist. I'm not drinking the Kool-Aid. My eyes wide open. A lot of you Laker fans, bro, get that negativity out of here, bro. Stop. Stop with the negativity. We just came off of a 5-game win streak. I don't know what Kool-Aid you're talking about, man. If you don't want to drink the Kool-Aid, you don't got to be negative towards everybody else who is drinking the Kool-Aid or whatever you want to call it. Bottom line is the Lakers finished on a high note, okay? On a high note. 4 or 5-game win streak. I lost count. It might have been a 4-game win streak, but it's okay. A win streak is a win streak, and we're building winning habits and getting healthy at the same time. It's okay. It's okay, you know. Nobody's hating on nobody. Anyways, back to the grades. Back to the grades before we get sidetracked. So let's see. I did Wesley Matthews, got a C+. Alonzo McKinney, 28 years of age, small forward, 6'7", very good wingspan, pretty athletic too. I think he made somewhat of an impact, especially with the injuries. He helped keep the boat afloat. You know, he helped keep the ship steady while LeBron and everybody else was out. So I actually love what Alfonso McKinney brought, man. What do you guys think, man? I'm asking Laker Nation. This is a tough grade because I want to give him a higher grade, but I want to be fair to those that I kind of gave a low grade to at the same time. So when we first traded for Alfonso McKinney and the JaVale McGee package, people thought he was going to get bought out. And I was like, wait a minute. He's a 6'7" wing, kind of Trevor Ariza type size. And if he can knock down the 3, maybe there's something there. And at first he wasn't getting no playing time, but due to the injuries, he eventually gradually got his playing time increased. And he actually even became an X factor a game or 2 of the season and made some clutch shots and played some solid defense. And like I said, he mostly played garbage minutes for us, but due to injuries, he did get a chance to shine a little bit. So I'm going to give him a solid C. A solid C because I feel like we didn't see enough of him, but I also felt like he did good for us. And good is a C. Really good is a C+, and so on and so forth. So I give him a C, man. A solid C. I feel like maybe even in the playoffs, if we need a matchup versus somebody or our defense is struggling, maybe Frank Vogel will use him for a couple of spare minutes just to see what he can do out of desperation. You might get a good combination and you might get some good minutes there. So yeah, solid C for your boy. He wasn't a throwaway, that's for sure. People thought he was going to come here and just get cut from the roster. Nope. But now let's move on to a fan favorite. All right, mac and cheese. Ben McLemore, 28 years of age, 6'3", originally drafted by the Sacramento Kings. Is a player I've always been high on since he was with the Kings. Now, back then when he came in, he was a high flyer, and he gradually turned his game into three-point shooting. Isn't that funny how some NBA players, they come in really athletic, really spry. They can jump out the gym, out the building, and all of a sudden they transition their game into three-point shooting. John Barry or one of the Johns did that in their career. J.R. Smith, So he falls into that category of players that came in as high flyers, and they transitioned over to three-point shooting. And I'll say this about this kid, man. Ben Mac and Cheese, he might be the purest catch-and-shoot guy with the quickest release since Jody Meeks we've had on the Lakers. He came in here and immediately started making an impact, started stretching the floor. His first game where he went off was versus the Brooklyn Nets. You guys remember that? I'm not sure if that was his debut or that was his second game, but he went off. I think he had like 18 points off the bench in limited minutes. And so for those reasons, man, I gotta give Ben McLemore a B-. B- because other than three-point shooting and some okay defense, he doesn't really give you much. But what he does from the three-point shooting, man, I think this kid is going to be disgusting in the playoffs. And I think that grade will raise up more, especially when the game gets stagnant and we need some instant offense or any sort of offense. I think he's going to show up. But because he's mainly a three-point shooter, B-. He has to add more to his game, like ability to take people off the dribble or create for others or be a really, really good defender all the time in order for me to give him anything more than that. But just for this one thing that he does, shooting, B- is a really good grade. And so I'm sticking to it, man. I'm really sticking to it. B- because he came in and immediately became probably our best catch and shoot guy. And that's no disrespect to KCP because he was inconsistent. But even though he had a career year, like KCP started shooting lights out when the season first started. And then he kind of tailed off a little bit. But the one who never tailed off from the moment we got him was your boy Mac and Cheese, man. So for those reasons, again, a B- is where I'm sticking to, just for what I expected from him and what he gave me. You know, if he would have gave me anything other than a 3-point shot, he might have been a B+ or an A-. That's how good he shot for us. But mainly, he's a 3-point shooter. He knows his role. He comes in here and he just lets it fly. That's exactly what we're going to need from him. If he can play some spotty D here and there, solid, man. I'm not mad at it at all. Matter of fact, I'm looking at re-signing him because we haven't had a consistent shooter like that in a while. So looking forward to that. 2 final grades to go, and these are going to be controversial ones, okay? The first one I got is at 31 years of age, he took a pay cut to come back, so you got to give him credit there. He's sharing a bank account with his twin brother. But Markieff Morris at 6'9", this dude really disappointed me this season. Now, he played good for probably about 8 games when we were missing both Anthony Davis and LeBron. He was playing really solid defense, knocking down shots, doing everything. But then the rest of the season, somebody put out an APB for him because he went missing. So what do we do with my boy Markieff Morris? Okay, I want to like him, and I know he can play so much better. I know he can be an advantage for us in the playoffs when other teams try to go small. We can try to match up with him. He can defend the 5 a little bit if they go small. He can defend some 4 definitely and some 3. So what do I do with Markieff Morris? Now, he went really cold from beyond the arc, and defensively he would disappear sometimes. This is a hard one. I see some C-, some Fs. I see a D. But I think I'm just going to give him I think I'm going to go with the C-. I think you guys are right. All right. I think I'll let you guys grade this one. C- because, like I said, he wasn't all the way bad. If he was all the way bad, he would have got a D or worse, an F. But I don't think anybody got an F this season because we dealt with so many injuries. So everything was situational. However, Markieff Morris, I have this theory that his brother comes over and they switch jerseys every once in a while just to see how the other side of the team is. And so, I'll let you guys grade this one, man. He gets a D-, a C-, just because, and that's being really generous. But I think he has the potential to be so much more for us. And that's what hurts about Markieff having a kind of semi-bad season this year. But he has a chance to redeem himself, and we will definitely be using the services, I'm sure of it, in the playoffs. Moving on, man, to the final most polarizing player on the Lakers, one that I want to say given up on, and I hope he does get in the playoffs, but his body language is never promising. Never promising. Sometimes I wanted to shake him and just like, wake up. You're capable of so much more. I was excited when we acquired this guy from Oklahoma City. But Dennis Schroder, man. Dennis Schroder is a 50-50 for me. All right? When he plays good, I like him. When he plays bad, he plays really bad. He turns the ball over about 5 times a game. He hangs his shoulders. He looks like I don't want to say it, all right, because it's a rated G channel, but let's just say him and his girl was out last night. Like it looks like he's tired all the time. Like what is wrong with this dude? Does he not eat his Wheaties in the morning? Does he not get enough calcium in him? Like what's going on? He has the ability to change gears and dominate the game with his speed, and he showed us that at times. But then he also showed us that he doesn't give a damn because he didn't get his paycheck, and he cares more about Call of Duty. So I left this grading for the finale because I know it's going to be controversial. Y'all going to call me a hater. But remember, I'm grading not based on talent, because if we're grading based on talent, these whole grades will be different. We know Dennis is talented. Okay? But I'm grading based on what I expected, what the attitude was, what I got. And I damn near almost gave Dennis Schroder an F. Damn near. I was this close. All right? That's how much I disliked what he did. But I'm going to give him a D+ because he was actually halfway decent when LeBron got injured. All right. I think that was his best stint. The best stint. That's it. I'm going to give him a D+. He don't get much more than that from me. I'm sorry. Because I expected him to be an A player. The way he played for OKC, and he almost finished as a 6th man of the year to what he did for us. Forget about his stats. And the only reason he gets a D+ is for that little 10-game stretch where he was clutch for us. He hit some game winners. He helped carry the team a little bit, and then he didn't get the contract extension, and boom. Okay, he just magically disappeared. Abracadabra, right? So for those reasons, man, He can't get much more than a D plus, especially because my expectations for the kid were super high. Go back and watch my preseason reviews and what I expected from the team, and you will see how disappointed I am on this kid. D plus is all he gets, and a lot of the plus came from that stretch again, that stretch of games. I can't give him an F because he actually was halfway decent, like I said. There was at one point to start the season, I was comparing him to Drew Holiday, you know. So, what do you guys think of my grading, man? Was I too harsh? Was I too generous? Were they good? That wraps it up for this season's grading video. You know, highest grade, LeBron James, A+. Lowest grade, Dennis Schroder and Coach. Right? Both of them got the lowest grades. Coach was very, 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 very questionable with his rotations all year long. So that's why I think I gave him a D+, if I'm not mistaken. And Dennis had all the potential in the world, but his body language was trash. You know, it's like having a girlfriend that's really cute, but then her attitude is trash. That's exactly what Dennis Schroder on the Lakers was, man. So I appreciate that one time. Thank you, bro. My man said A+ for Dan. Thank you, but I appreciate y'all, man. Round of applause for Laker Nation hanging in there all season long. I'm proud of you guys for not giving up on the team. You know, like I'd say 1/10 of the fan base, the fake fans, they came on here like 10 games ago, and they were saying the Lakers are done. I don't hear from them no more. But like I said, I don't want to see them at the parade. I'm glad you guys are here, though. I appreciate y'all, man. It's been a long, hard season, but also very enjoyed. I always enjoyed Laker talk and everything, man. It's awesome, man. Another one in the books, and here we go, baby. Quest for number 18. And now we can talk about, now that I'm done with the grades, got those off of my chest, we can talk about the overall grade for the Lakers this season, where our expectations are, where we finished, and what were the causes of that, okay? So we just won the championship a couple months back, okay? And the turnaround of the season definitely factors into this, right? So because of that, I think, what do you guys think on the Lakers grade this season? I give them a B+, actually, because LeBron and AD were injured for so long that we could have easily fell out. You know, we could have easily fell out of the play-in tournament. We could have been a lottery team in the West, especially, and we were able to somehow, you know, have two chances in the play-in, not one. If we lose to the Warriors, we still have another chance. God forbid we lose to the Warriors, though. But if we do, if the refs somehow get involved and something crazy happens, or Curry goes for 70, which I hope not, he better not in Staples Center, then, you know, at least we have another shot. For those reasons, I think the Lakers are a B+, man. It was a tough season, injuries, chemistry issues, coaching rotation was a little off and everything, but the overall, you know, expectations to where we are at now, we didn't really fall off too much. It wasn't too disappointing because, like I said, those guys were gone for so long. Those are the two major components in your roster were out for the majority of the season. They were out for about half of the season. And we were still able to somehow hold the ship head. You know, we were able to hold the ship steady and win some crucial games just to make sure we had this opportunity at the end of the season. For those reasons, again, especially with the quick turnaround, the injuries, the poor coaching, and the questionable lineup with Marcus Smart starting in the beginning, I'll give him a B+, man. Definitely a B+. So he said the Western Conference are shaking in their boots. The Lakers are coming with a vengeance. Here we go, baby. This is what it's all about. It's all or nothing. This is where the real legends are made, and the fake ones, you know, they're exposed. You know, the Brick Georges of the world. You know, this is where all that stat padding is not going to matter. You're either a game time player, you know, or you're just a stat padder. You're going to get exposed big time. And I'm looking forward to that Warriors game, guys. I can't wait. My boy said, sign and trade Dennis Schroder. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it, my brother. But right now, it's all about playoffs, man. Like my boy said, playoff mode is activated. We got to still improve defense and do some things better. But I did definitely saw the improvement to end the season compared to when we were struggling, especially when we first came off of injury. So, again, B+ for the season. He said, y'all remember Kobe took his time to help Kuz in his game and Tatum because he knows the talent. He said Kuz would be like Tatum if he was option number 1. Well, I'll say this, brother. I agree with you that there's definitely talent there. I'm not sure if both of the talents are the same. at this point. Now, part of that could be, like you said, because Kuz wasn't option number one and he didn't have the green light from the beginning of his career because he wasn't a lottery pick or whatever, or because the coaching was whack. But, at this point, Tatum's way up here and Kuz is like right here, okay? And that's not a diss to Kuz. That's just praise to Tatum. I got to keep it 100 with you. Tatum way over exceeded my expectations. He became a way better player than I thought he would. And he's one of the ones that would have slipped through the cracks if I was a GM. So I'm glad I'm not, because I do have a good eye for talent. But sometimes, let's keep it real. We can't always see everything. Like not everybody knew Doncic was going to be this much of a beast. Not everybody. I knew Trae Young was going to be a beast, but I didn't know Doncic was going to be this much of a beast. Tatum, I thought he'd be good, but I thought he'd be more like Paul Pierce good. He's more like T-Mac good. And that's good. That's a great thing for them. But I would say if I could redraft again, I would bring him to the Lakers. Yes, I would. Definitely. But overall, man, not mad at all. I'm not mad at all at the way the season went. And I think Kuz is perfect in his role. And his role, what he brings to the table, his sacrifice, what he does for the team, I think it goes a little undervalued sometimes. But the real ones know. The real ones know how good Kuzma can be and how clutch he can be and how much of a commodity he is to have, on this team, especially when it gets stagnant. He's somebody who can show fearlessness in the final moments. So I do like that. My boy said, trade Schroder as fast as you can. He doesn't bring energy, and he is moping about not getting his bag. Anybody sees his previous interview where someone asked if he had COVID and he almost lost it? Strange. Yeah, I agree with that, man. I definitely agree with that. I'm not a huge fan of Dennis, but change my mind, Dennis. Go out there and ball out. Change my mind and make me eat my words. I hope he does, because I'm a Laker fan first. I'm not about player favorites or whatever. Laker fan first. If he changes my mind, I will eat my words and I will apologize to him and say, you know what? I was hard on you, Dennis, but you definitely showed up in the playoffs and you're one of the main reasons we won the championship. I will do it. I don't have too much pride to swallow it, man. I'm good. I can swallow my pride. Simple as that. He said, as a LeBron fan, I can't help but to think that if he had it his way, the season would be over with no playing. What do you think? Are you sure you're a LeBron fan? Because I'm not a diehard LeBron fan. I'm a LeBron fan now that he's a Laker. But I will say I think LeBron's more competitive than what you just made him look like, bro. That's being a pouty crybaby. And then that actually makes you look like a hater. So I'm not sure you're a LeBron fan. LeBron fans defend him to the death, man. I know LeBron fans. I know plenty of them. So I'm shocked you would say that, though. But what do I think? No, I think LeBron just didn't like the fact that we're a 7 seed and we don't get a guaranteed playoff spot. He doesn't like that. He doesn't like to play extra games. He feels like he should have seniority because he's a superstar. I feel like LeBron is a little bit entitled, but that's okay. That's a part of the new generation era, and that's a part of the millennial era of superstars, where the old school players, they just came out here and balled out, man. They had too much pride to be complaining. But everybody's different. I ain't going to criticize LeBron. It's his opinion. He didn't say nothing bad. All he said is he didn't like the play-in, and I didn't like what he said about the person who came up with it getting fired because, come on, that's a little too much. But everything else, it is what it is, man. He said whoever made the play-in should be fired. I know that. I didn't like that. I don't agree with that. Like, come on, man. That's a great idea, and they shouldn't get fired just because you think so. That's too entitled, right? He really is acting like a king and like he wants to get rid of the jester type stuff, But don't let the King James stuff get to your head, man. You still should be a humble human being, and you should still go out here and compete with the best of them. That's all. So, Dan, all these wannabe top teams are ducking the Lakers. They are. They're ducking them heavy to the very last game they were tanking. I thought the play-in tournament would get rid of tanking, but not when it comes to the Lakers. Oh no, the league hates us, man. And they want to do everything possible to put us in the play-in tournament because they feel like Curry's hot right now. Maybe if they win and the Lakers go in and play Game 7 elsewhere, then maybe we won't have to deal with them in the playoffs. But oh no, they're very wrong because they're going to have to deal with us sooner or later if they even get to us. And if they don't get to us, well then sayonara, basketball karma, and that's what you get for tanking. It's that simple, man. But it's all right. Check this out. I read this on Twitter somewhere. It could all be a blessing in disguise. Matter of fact, if you go to NBAtankathon.com, you guys know what that is? The heavy hoop heads, they know what it is, man. NBAtankathon.com. And you can see, let me see what it is. you can see that the Lakers are going to get a higher draft pick. Than the one. Okay, it looks like 21st draft pick. So imagine the Lakers win a championship and we get a mid to high draft pick. It's not in the lottery. It's not a top 14, but it's right there. It's like 7 picks away. So we end up with a high draft pick. We end up getting another gem and we win the lottery. Nobody's going to remember what these other teams did to tank. It's not going to help them and it's not going to do anything for them, or it's not going to, it's not going to assist them. So at the end of the day, everything happens for a reason, and teams are scared. That's why they say, low IQ stuff like le bum trash. Le bum. Oh, that's so creative, man. Would you like a cookie? Like these cats can't even come with funny jokes anymore, man. That's how corny this generation is. They can't come with the funny jokes. That le bum, le trash, le Mickey, they just put an LE into any word and they think they got really creative. They want a pat in the back. They want a hug. They need attention bad. He said, "What's up, Dan? I'm late." Oh, you're going to want to rewind this video. We did the grades already for the Lakers, and Laker Nation is always graceful helping me with the grading system, man, which also helps. But overall, look, Lakers got this, baby. If we win, when we win on Wednesday versus Golden State Warriors, we will be having the easier path to the finals, because the top half path, having to go through Utah, is a lot harder than having to go through either Portland or Denver. You know what I'm saying? So there's levels to this, man. And all we want is the Lakers to get hot by the time we get to the Western Conference. Don't matter who's on the other end, whether it be the Flippers or the Jazz. We got them. We'll handle them. We'll take care of them. And it's going to be all gravy, baby. But anyways, I will be doing another video tomorrow, probably in the afternoon, to break down all the playoff matchups and the seeding and the standings and how I believe everything, will shake out, right? That's going to wrap it up for this video. Thank you guys so much. This is a final regular season recap video. I appreciate y'all, man. Thanks for everybody who donated, everybody who hit me on the Cash App. My thing's still vibrating. You guys are really generous, man. So thank you guys. God bless y'all. And I will be back real soon. Matter of fact, tomorrow I'll be back for the playoff predictions video. I will have the whole chart, and I will say who I think is going to advance, who I think are going to be the favorites to come out of the East and West, and who I think is going to win the whole championship. I'm going to make all my predictions that you guys can either say, Dan, you were right later on, or you guys can say, oh, you were wrong, or whatever you want to say. You know what I'm saying? But I get these predictions right 9 times out of 10. So let's see exactly how good I land this year. Final comment I'll read, because he donated. He said, AD, come harder. LeBron is getting older. It's time for him to carry the load. He definitely did that last year in the playoffs. So let's hope that he does the same this year. Looking forward to it, fam. Thank you so much. Signing off from Lakerville, and I'll catch you guys right here tomorrow. Make sure you guys tune in for the playoff prediction special that's coming up. Should be a fun one, man. Love y'all. Have a great night, and thank you all.